I'm Kevin Watler and this is your CMR Daily Buzz. Emergency services were dispatched to a two-vehicle collision that took place along the West Bay section of the Esterly-Tibbetts Highway around 7:30 Wednesday evening. One of the vehicles, a Toyota Mark X, had 4 occupants, while the other, a Honda Accord, had 2 occupants. The occupants of the Toyota Mark X were all transported to the Cayman Islands Hospital by ambulance, where they were treated by the attending doctors for what appeared to be non-life-threatening injuries and later discharged. Both vehicles were extensively damaged and the road was partially closed for a period of time as investigations and officers from the Cayman Islands Fire Service cleared the roadway. The driver of the Honda Accord, a 25-year-old woman of Bordentown, was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence of alcohol and careless driving. She was transported to the Cayman Islands Detention Center where a breath test was administered, which showed a reading of 0.184%. The current legal limit in the Cayman Islands is 0.1%, and lawmakers are currently considering reducing it to 0.07%. The Cayman Islands government will be hosting a press briefing Friday afternoon to discuss the latest changes to the COVID-19 regulations and public health updates. The press conference is scheduled for 2 p.m. and CMR will be streaming it on Facebook and on YouTube. Premier the Honorable Wayne Penton, the Minister for Health and Wellness and Home Affairs, the Honorable Sabrina Turner, Minister for Tourism and Transport, the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, and Interim Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Achilia Newton, and government officials will participate in the press briefing. Several regional experts in aviation and related fields will attend the upcoming International Air Transport Association's 4th Caribbean Aviation Day in the Cayman Islands. Caribbean Aviation Day is set for Wednesday, the 14th of September. It is one of the activities surrounding the week of events, which also includes the Caribbean Tourism Organization Councils of Members meeting, Youth Congress, and destination briefings. These events will be hosted by the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, the Minister of Tourism and Transport, who will address the conference goers as the keynote speaker. The event is being held at the Ritz-Carlton, Grand Cayman, and the ITCA Caribbean Aviation Day is open to the public. Attendee registration is US $150 with a discounted resident rate of only US $50. Early registration is encouraged as space is limited. A voluntary recall of more than 5,700 cases of wild cherry Capri Sun in the United States does not have an impact on its products here in the Cayman Islands or anywhere in the Caribbean as they are manufactured in Jamaica. The voluntary recall was due to a possible contamination in a United States-based plant, and a spokesperson for Capri Sun said that the affected pouches were only sold in the United States. Police continue to look for Luisto Eusebio Hernandez in relation to firearm offenses. He is considered armed and dangerous and should not be approached. If seen, call 911 immediately. The search is still on for 2 missing men. 53-year-old Noel Paul Manning has been missing since June 24th, and 26-year-old Adrian Williamson has been missing since July 6th. Now you are asked to contact your nearest police station if you see them. Anonymous tips can be provided directly to the RCIPS via their confidential tip line at 949-7777 or via their website. More information on each of these stories can be found at caymanmallroad.com. Now for your CMR weather update, it's brought to you by WG Charters. Sunrise at 6:07. Partly cloudy with an increasing chance of rainfall by the afternoon. The temperature rises to the high 80s, but it will feel much hotter than that when the high temperature is at 89 degrees Fahrenheit and the relative humidity is at 72% like the forecast calls for. The temperature will feel around 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour, then the sun sets at 6:50. At nighttime, the temperature falls to the low 80s, and looking forward, similar weather conditions are expected. Expect an increase in shower activity over the weekend through Monday. Remember, it's summertime, so those hot days and warm nights with scattered showers are very typical for this time of year. CMR weather updates are brought to you by WG Charters. They offer private boat trips for a great price, and we encourage you to support them. Now for some regional and international news. Derek a Belizean man who died in police custody, was buried Thursday morning. The 20-year-old's life came to an end on Thursday morning when police left him for 13 hours inside a prison van. Police said that one of the men responsible for leaving him in the van is PC Errol Peralta. He's the officer who drove the prisoner van to the police station. According to his attorney, Norman Rodriguez, he wasn't aware that he was transporting a passenger. He said Peralta merely received the key, drove the van to the station, and handed over the keys. But his fellow officers say Peralta was present when their commander briefed them about the prisoner in the van. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is encouraging motorists to begin making early adjustments to the requirements under the new regulations of the Road Traffic Act. Under the regulations, the use of cellular phone handsets will be prohibited while driving. Regarding driving without insurance, the head of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch said that under the current Road Traffic Act, vehicles are not being seized for insurance. However, that will not be the case under the new regulations because insurance is an important thing. A boat capsized in Bahamian waters, killing at least 17 people who are suspected Haitian migrants. Police suspect at least 45 people were traveling to Florida from New Providence on July 24th when their boat capsized in rough seas near Blackbeard's Key. At least 17 people died, including a pregnant woman and 2 minors, while several people are believed to be lost at sea. Officials believe the passengers paid between $3,000 to $8,000 to be on the boat. The U.S. Coast Guard said it has intercepted and returned more than 6,000 Haitians at sea since last October, the largest attempt migration of Haitian boat refugees in 20 years. A United States federal judge said that parts of the affidavit used to obtain a search warrant for former President Donald Trump's resort home Mar-a-Lago can be unsealed. The Department of Justice asked a judge not to unseal the highly sensitive document, which details the government's view that it had probable cause to believe the search of Mar-a-Lago would turn up evidence of illegality. The government's investigation into the records seized from Trump's Palm Beach, Florida residence is still in its early stages, argued Jay Bratt, head of the Department of Justice Counterintelligence Team. The judge gave the government a week to file proposed redactions to the affidavit. Turkey's leader and the United Nations chief met in Ukraine with President Volodymyr Zelensky on Thursday in a high-powered bid to ratchet down a war raging for nearly 6 months, but little immediate progress was reported. The Turkish president said he would follow up with Russian President Vladimir Putin, given that most of the matters discussed would require the Kremlin's agreement. With the meetings held in such a high level, it was the first visit to Ukraine by the Turkish president since the war began, and the second by the United Nations Secretary General. Some had hoped for breakthroughs toward an overall peace, or at least on specific issues, but none was apparent. That's it for now on the Daily Buzz. Thank you for joining me. Please stay safe, and God bless.